Hey, folks, welcome back to the SourceFed podcast. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me on the show today, William Haynes.
That was smooth intro you did.
Thank you very much. Sam Basher.
Hello.
And Bree Essrig.
Hi.
Hey, if you aren't subscribed to this podcast, you absolutely should be. Go to iTunes and maybe give the show a rating and review if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you are having issues, if you aren't getting the episodes. Resubscribe. There was an RSS issue that has been since cleared up. The show is also available on SoundCloud and on YouTube on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SourceFed. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. We got a lot of great content here.
Why can't you buy food on iTunes?
I don't know why you can't buy food on iTunes.
You can buy food on Amazon. You can't buy it on iTunes.
Isn't that interesting?
yeah.
You can also buy condoms on Amazon.
You can buy just about anything on Amazon.
Yeah.
I bought...
That's not good though. Like, so buying condoms in person is a life experience.
Mm-hmm.
That once you do that, you're like, oh, I can do anything now. Like that's one of the hardest things that are a first world problem that you can do. Once you've done that, you can pretty much go up to anybody and be like, oh, hey, how you doing? That's something you need to learn.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I have bought condoms many times, and I still have
can't
trouble
talk
going
to
up
strangers.
You still, I mean, but like that's like very difficult though, right?
Try
It's the
tampons.
first time.
Try
yes, too.
tampons.
Well, that's the
Tampons.
thing, is like it feels embarrassing the first time you do it, even though when you're buying it, people aren't going to judge you for being safe. They might at the very least be like, oh man, someone's having sex and I'm not. This kid's having sex and I'm
No,
not.
I'm also thinking, oh shit, this kid's having sex and I'm not.
You
Yeah.
know what? Like, I don't forget. I think I was talking to you about this, Sam, recently about like how Wanda Sykes should be the person at the grocery store who checks you out and like makes fun of what you got.
That's
you would
funny.
you would be so hard as an individual if you went to go buy condoms and Wanda Sykes was there and she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you buying condoms?"
It's like,
it
what's
would ruin
what's
you.
the name of that hot dog restaurant in Chicago where they mess with you?
Yeah.
Wiener Circle.
What do they do?
What?
with Wiener
There's a
Circle?
place called Wiener
That sounds like my
Circle
nightmare.
where all of the employees are mean to you on
It's
purpose.
my dream.
And
I
if,
love it.
If you don't know what you want when you get up there, if you waste any time, they kick you out of line and you can't come back.
I didn't know you couldn't
What
come back.
kind
Well,
of
I mean, you
world
can
is
come
this?
back, but
They,
like if they recognize you, if you like get to the back of the line, you come all the way back to the front, they could just dismiss you again. Like
It's art. I find
Yeah.
that very artsy. It's
it
just
is in its own way.
It's an exaggeration of real life because people are like like New York people, maybe Chicago people are like labeled as being mean, and they take it and they do it on purpose, and I think that's great.
Well, it's kind of like going to see an insult comic, like
Yes.
Don Rickles at his prime, where you're
Yes.
going specifically to get picked on.
God,
I feel
wish
like
I was
it's
one of
just
them.
like a way to like distract you from the fact that the hot dogs are really shitty.
They're probably not good.
Probably.
I mean, no hot dogs are ever like really good. Like, wow, this is a really it's not a good hot dog.
I would love to be an insult comedian. I wish that there was no rules though. Like everybody just lined up and I could just say whatever I wanted about them.
I'm sure that if you become a large enough insult comedian, you could have, instead of an audience, have a line.
have a line.
Just shoot a special out on the street with a line.
With a
Like
line.
last year at VidCon, do you remember this? We saw Swoozie signing
Yes.
autographs and taking pictures, and he did it for 8 hours straight outside.
Swoozie is a beast for that.
Because he had just a long line. I couldn't do it. The fact that he was able to do that, I have so much respect for that guy.
Yeah.
But like to shoot a
like-
comedy special like that, where just one by one people walk up to you and you insult them, and then people just watch that for 45 minutes. I
That's
think that's pretty
incredible.
amazing. But back to Amazon. Recently, I made an Amazon purchase of 12 cans of like Sustainable Seas, organic, cruelty-free like tuna fish. And then
Why
$470 worth of picture frames.
It's not a
Wait,
Costco.
okay.
Costco doesn't
So
do
I
that.
got
to say
I
another
got
piece
a
of food.
pack of 12 cans of wonderful tuna and $470 worth of picture frames.
What's wrong with Chicken of the Sea? What's wrong with Mermaid? Bumblebee?
Because
Are you
this
talking
is,
about Transformers?
Yeah, wait, no.
Tuna.
Because this is sustainably caught, so they only take enough fish out of the sea that can be then put back into the sea. They
Also,
don't
you're probably
overfish.
not
Man,
eating
And
dolphins.
it's just a higher quality fish in olive oil.
I
Why'd
know
you
a
buy? Well, I guess I could see picture frames.
Lieberman, I know a lot of people make fun of you for your food choices and
Yeah.
like, oh, Lieberman likes this high
Hold
quality.
on.
I respect
You
it.
make
and
fun
I
of
mean
him.
me. I'm talking about
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you
I'm
make
talking
fun
about
of me
me
more
mostly
than
me.
anyone.
Yeah, and but honestly though, I really do respect it because sometimes you got to have something exactly the way you want it.
Yes.
Exactly the way you
Well,
want it.
that's-
And it might not even taste that much different, but just knowing that this came how you wanted it is great.
Well, that's why I love to cook, because when I cook, I know exactly what I'm putting in my body down to every last thing.
Would you rather cook or have someone cook for you?
I would rather cook.
I'd
If
rather
I
have
had the
somebody cook for me.
time, and I didn't have to clean the dishes, I would cook every meal that I
Yeah.
could eat.
I have learned to be able to cook something in just a big bowl, so I only have to wash one bowl and one fork.
Smart.
The food's still good and healthy.
I
Yeah.
think
It's all frozen though.
my biggest concern is this. I've never ordered food off of Amazon. I have no idea what that's like.
Oh,
I
What is
wouldn't.
that like?
I don't want food in a
yeah,
box.
I
Well, wait,
don't
well-
necessarily know what that's gonna be.
it's the same stuff, just cheaper.
You know what? I just
It's like
said-
Walmart, but you don't have to go to the bad part of town.
I
you,
just
you
said
get your food delivered.
Yeah, you get your
Wow.
food
I never
delivered.
thought about that.
I was with you just now when I said I don't want my food in a box, but I just realized when you said your food always comes in a box. You just don't see the box. How it gets to Vons or Safeway, depending on where you're from, is
Put
in
it
a
on
box.
a nice
Yeah.
shelf,
Yeah.
nice lighting. Like, oh yeah, I want this.
It's specifically tailored for Americans to think that there can some high quality. No, this is the same thing that they just sent from Asia.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
No, just go through what are the things that you eat the most in your house. Like in my apartment, my girlfriend and it's tuna. It's Orville Rettenbacher's natural popcorn.
You must be in a real good relationship.
Oh
that
my
you guys
God.
eat tuna all the
Listen.
time.
Well, she's vegan, but she'll make the tuna for me. That's how much she
She
loves
loves
me.
you so
is
much.
she will handle fish or even cook a steak for me. Like that's like a big deal. She does not like to handle
Can I
meat.
third wheel your guys' relationship? Because I only eat tuna, popcorn, and pickles.
Shut up.
That's
We
like all
those are
I
like
eat.
three of the
You're
things
gonna-
that
That's
we
like
eat
my
the most
staple.
of.
Bree,
Yeah.
you're gonna die in like 2 weeks.
That's a lot of
There's
salt.
so much protein.
Yeah.
There's so much
So
protein.
much
in
We've
tuna.
protein.
gotten into a routine now. Like we'll like at night we have like a late night snack.
I
We
hate you.
slice an apple with some like organic peanut butter, some almond butter, and we'll make some like natural popcorn. We'll sit up and we'll watch Netflix. We'll watch like a documentary and we'll feed each other.
Do
Sometimes
you
Almond
think
butter,
natural
though.
peanut butter is better than the regular Jif peanut butter? 'Cause
Yes.
I try so hard to
The
like
reason
it.
I'll tell you why. Because Jif peanut butter puts palm oil in.
Uh-huh.
It's not just peanut butter. Peanuts release their own natural oil.
You
You
know-
shouldn't need more oil in it. And palm oil is hydrogenated. It is bad for you, Sam.
Your
Okay,
nighttime.
there's so many things that are
Hold
bad for
on,
me.
Sam.
and it
You
tastes good.
stole my organic dark roasted peanut butter, and now you're going back and saying that peanut butter is garbage. You're saying that theft didn't
I didn't
matter.
say
Wait,
garbage.
can you tell me what your nighttime routine is again? What is it that you guys eat?
Okay, we'll slice up some apple, some like organic apple, or just like a really
like
good one.
Fuji Gala.
Ooh, no.
Granny
A
Smith.
Spitzen,
Ooh.
a Spitzenberg, or a Jonna Gold, Brayburn, an Envy apple. Have you ever had
okay,
an
I'm gonna
Envy
be
Wait,
honest.
apple?
I don't-
Which ones-
That sounds
which-
just like my nighttime routine where I go down to the kitchen,
And
look
get
at the
a pie?
refrigerator, realize that I have nothing in there, and go back in my room.
Wait,
Yeah.
which one of those are red and green?
All of them.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Alright.
red and green and yellow. But yeah, we'll
apples.
slice some apple with some peanut or almond butter. We'll make some popcorn. Maybe we'll each have a square of dark chocolate.
Remember that bit I
Oh
showed
my
you,
God,
that
you
Hannibal Beer's bit
guys.
about pretzels, where they're like all pretzels taste the same.
Yeah.
Same with apples. All apples are.
I
some are,
disagree.
Some are sour and some are
Okay.
sweeter.
Yeah,
It's
you're
okay.
right, you're
Red delicious apples are straight up trash, and they should all be
Honey
burned.
Only an
crisp.
American. Only this delicious ass
No,
apple made
that
to
is-
taste good.
That
is trash.
it is a misnomer. It is a red disgusting.
Do you know how awesome America is? We got apples this big. If you wanted it, you could get an apple this big.
That
Because
is
they're
a
genetically
nightmare.
modified.
yeah, but it still
But,
tastes
like,
good.
Why does genetically modified always? This is a big political issue, which I'm stopping right now.
No,
I can explain.
I don't want it. I don't want it because it's just gonna get complicated and people get opinions. and
I was about to
oh,
get mad at you no matter what.
Yeah.
Once you said genetically, I said my parents had me on purpose.
Did you guys ever see grapples in the grocery
I've had
store
grapples.
growing up?
I
I've never
had
had
some.
one.
It is weird and not great and
Not
not
great.
worth how much money you have to spend on 4 apples.
Wait,
Oh
what?
man,
A grapple.
grapple is a
Oh.
genetically modified apple hybrid with a grape.
I don't know. Wait,
It doesn't.
wait,
It
what?
doesn't taste anything like grape.
Oh,
There's
You
no
it
grape.
smells
That sounds
like
good.
fake grape.
Something I saw here recently, actually it was a couple of months ago, was that somebody had got delivered apples. And I was like, what kind of 2015 bullshit is this where you get apples delivered
Hold on,
to you?
Harry and David delivers pears, and those are really good.
And they've
Hold
been
on,
doing that
Will,
since
do you
the
have
90s.
glitter on your lip?
It was a bit. It was a bit.
Okay.
It was a bit. It was Twilight related, all right?
You were
Oh.
eating unicorn pussy.
Okay, it was the strip club, all right?
Okay.
It was the strip club.
Thank you for telling the truth, Will.
I got to the champagne room.
Now,
Good
Bree,
boy.
can you explain to us the science of why unicorn pussy leaves glitter on your face?
They come glitter.
Duh.
All right, if unicorns existed, would you get one?
No.
No.
What if they were like
that's a lot of
500
upkeep.
bucks?
That's a lot of upkeep. It's like the same as having a horse. You still have to pay for the stable fees, and
they
you have to
smell
bathe them
bad.
every day.
Unicorns probably smell good though. Like whatever your favorite cologne or perfume is, that's what
They
your horse
sweat
would
out
do.
roses.
They sweat roses, but
It
then
smells like a
shit
Hollister
cotton
store.
candy.
They shit
Cotton candy.
Yeah.
But it gets on
Yeah.
the ground, so you still don't really want
Yeah,
it. But
and
you
if
gotta
you-
be there.
Snap off their horn, grind it up, and snort it. You get high and you can fly.
But that's illegal. They won't let you. It's a
No,
it's a
no.
it's a
drug.
controlled substance.
Interesting.
Imagine how good that drug would be, though. The unicorn's horn.
Yeah.
Dude, I did some unicorn's horn, and I found out I do still love my mother. Like, that's the kind of shit you would hear.
Those
Can
things
I
would be
just say-
endangered.
Yeah.
I am so jealous of the Limitless pill. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
need that to exist.
I want that to exist
It's
so
like
bad.
Adderall times 1,000.
You know that
Like-
their brains turned to soup at the end of that movie, right?
I don't care. I'll eat my brain soup.
Yeah.
I
I'll
don't
eat my
care.
brain soup.
Sam, our brains turn to soup when we die anyway.
And I just want to say, Sam
Uh-huh.
didn't say a spoiler for that movie. Watch the whole movie. I like it. That's what I
I'm
like.
They're making a
Sorry.
TV show.
What
now.
you didn't spoil it. Like,
No,
Good
I didn't
question.
spoil anything.
They're gonna make it a TV show.
Yeah, it's coming out this
so,
fall.
for those of you who have not seen the movie Limitless, the drug in the movie is like, it's like what
It's
it
a
does.
cool looking pill too.
It's a cool looking pill, and
It
what
unlocks the full potential of your brain.
which apparently isn't even true. They say like you
No.
only use 10% of your brain, but apparently at a time you only
Exactly.
use, yeah.
You only use 10% of your brain at a time,
Yeah.
but you do use all of
But
it.
in the movie, it makes you so smart. Like anything you couldn't do before, you could do now. And it
Like
sounds
when you explain
incredible.
it, like you only use 10% of your brain. It's kind of like explaining like you only use 10% of your hand when you're doing this. It's like, what if you used all of it at the same time?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it's
you don't have
fucking,
to.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Nothing that you do requires like very few things require all of your brain to do it. But I enjoy like when I'm like listening to stand up comedy, I like notice that I can't just sit there. I need to like what I do now is I like I like
Called
exercise or
ADHD.
something. Probably it's probably yeah.
Yep. I get that as well. I can't like really sit down and watch anything unless
Yeah.
it's really gripping.
I have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a movie theater, I can just watch the movie.
I can't. I'm too antsy. Like the last movie I saw in the theater was Jurassic World, and that movie was action packed, and I was like, wow, this is cool. But the whole time I'm like, I gotta get out of here and go do something. Like I gotta.
See, I understand what you're saying, Sam, because it's like it's the act of going out. Like I know that I'm going out to enjoy a theater experience, and unless the movie's bad, I'm not going to be excited to leave. I'm like there and I'm watching
Yeah.
my movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Fantastic Four.
But if you're sitting at
Alright.
home
Y'all
and
need
you
to-
have like a pile of stuff that you could be cleaning up while it's happening, it's like, why
Y'all need
not?
to stop
You
talking
guys-
smack about Fantastic Four. You
I
know
will
Michael B.
talk-
Jordan and I are close.
I love
you are
him.
not, and I love Michael B. Jordan.
Can you get me close to him?
I will get you close to him as soon as I get close
he's
to him.
a beautiful man.
Hey, he's one of my friend goals. Man, Darren is out as soon as he's like, I get his number.
I'm really excited. Not
gonna be
excited
that-
for that day, but like if that were to happen, I would want someone to film it because that would just be the strangest, most epic shit ever. Darren, you're out as my best
Yeah.
friend. Michael B. Jordan's in.
Our podcast is done. It's
Yeah.
she didn't text Michael Jordan. She
Yeah.
texted Michael Jordan back, but not me because he's better looking
And
than
then
me.
Darren's gonna start his own podcast called Will Didn't Text
Will
Back.
didn't text. I'm sorry, I was busy. I was too busy going to fancy party and grinding up on fancy women with Michael B. Jordan. You think he's ever had a day where he didn't grind up on a fancy woman?
Yes.
Really?
Probably like 2.
Uh,
Yeah, he was. I mean, until he was like 15, 16, when he started to come of age.
Oh, he didn't become Michael B. Jordan until he was like 20. Now he's
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
Now
I'm still
Michael B.
Nah,
Jordan.
he's not even in his final.
No,
form.
I mean, like, I don't know. He's not even in his final form. That's true. But, like, I remember seeing him back in, like, The Wire season 1 when he was just, like, he was young.
Really?
Man. Yeah, he was young. He, like, looked like he was, like, 13 years old.
Now he's
and
got
then
a
he
mustache.
does. Yeah, well, now. And then he did Friday Night Lights, and that's where, like, I really got to see him stretch as an actor. And now he's, like, the
Now he's
shit.
got an Instagram.
Now
and
he's
I like
a
his
freaking
photos.
boxer.
Have
Creed.
you seen Fruitvale Station?
Yes.
So
Really
heartbreaking.
good.
Really good.
Really good.
Yeah, that's
So-
where I'm from. That's where I'm from. That it takes place in the
Oakland.
Bay Area, and I see all of that. Like,
If you guys don't know,
Yes, so
Fruitvale
familiar.
Station is a movie based on a viral video that came out of a cop shooting a guy that
An
was
unarmed
unarmed black guy in Oakland.
Oakland.
But this movie tells the
at Fruitvale Station, the BART station.
Yes, and this tells the story of everything leading up to that, and it's so powerful and
It's the day of
messed
it.
up.
It's so powerful. That's one of I don't like emotional movies, but I like that one a lot.
What was it like growing up in that area?
In the Bay Area?
Yeah, just
Uh,
or wherever you grew up.
So like my mom would always say growing up, she was like, people would give an arm and leg to live in this area. Moving from the Bay Area to here, I'm like, oh my God, this is dry desert, horrible. Bay
Yeah.
Area is beautiful. There's hills, there's like green. It was amazing. But you know, it was like real ghetto, and people get shot every day. But
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Like
That's
New
crazy.
Jersey,
Yeah.
like I mean, where I grew up in New Jersey was kind of like that too. Like I grew up in a town that like there was literally like almost a line drawn down the middle of the town between the good part of town and the bad part
Yep.
of town. It was like Springfield Avenue. If you lived on the wrong side of Springfield, bad stuff happened all the time.
Yeah.
And people would get shot. There would be drugs in our school. There would be cops. I remember 7 cop cars came once just to arrest one kid. I remember a girl ripped another girl's weave out at Maplewood Pizzeria and like collapsed a
oh
table.
yeah, that
Like-
was legitimately
That's so
every day.
Oh
like-
yeah,
Horrific.
fights
I
with like
remember-
blood all over the walls. It's crazy.
My
Oh,
friend,
hold
my
on.
friend had
I
a
didn't
thing.
have that.
My friend had a thing where he would just say tumbleweave, like you know, like and like in Africa
That's
there's like a
amazing.
thing, like it's tumbleweave, like god damn.
I don't remember. One of the girls' names was Otito, but I can't remember the other girl's name.
Otito?
Otito.
Was she Italian?
No.
No.
No, she was
Otito.
not. Otito. No.
Oh, Tito.
I mean,
No.
but yeah, like it's like for a place that's so beautiful, how are you motherfuckers killing each other? Look, it's a tree. It's beautiful. Look at that. Instead
But it's
of
my
your-
tree.
It's my tree. That's what's big to me. Like turf wars, where they're like, I live on this side of the street, you live on that side of the street. We're enemies. You guys are the same dude. You're both wearing Jordans. Both your moms yell at you the same way. Both you eat at the same goddamn McDonald's, but you're still shooting each other. That's what kills me, and I'm done.
That's the thing. It's like it's all one planet. Laws say that we own certain parcels of land or something, but most of the people we're fighting don't own shit.
No, that's
They
why.
don't own shit. So what do you mean that's your corner? You don't own that
You
corner.
do not. You rent.
Yeah, you rent. You don't even rent that corner. You rent the house that's adjacent to the corner.
Yeah.
You rent.
It's, yeah, no.
These my streets. You know how I run these streets. You rent. You rent. I'm gonna get shot when I go back to
Every
Richmond.
border,
Damn.
every law, everything is just all up here. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
I also want to
Kids.
know if anybody lives in Richmond, California, and watches SourceFed. Tweet me. I want to know if anybody does.
Tweet me your address.
Tweet me your address. I might show up at your house and you shoot me. That's cool.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's cool. I
No,
deserve
but
that.
Will, then all of your videos would suddenly be way more popular.
You know, I think about that
Do
all
you think
the time.
about that all the
I
time?
think
Being
about
a
that all the
posthumous
time.
success?
I was like, people don't love you till you're dead.
Mhm.
Like, I like John Lennon, but he didn't become a legend until he got shot. Once he got shot, he became a
He
legend.
was, he was
He
pretty
was
popular.
He was pretty
I
popular.
had heard
but
a few things that George Carlin had done. Then he died, and I listened to everything he'd ever done.
That's what happens to you. Like, it's just
That's
you.
true,
You be
yeah.
like Drake has a song. You know, if I die, I'm a legend. Because if he died right now, he'd be like,
Oh yeah, he'd
Yeah.
be canonized.
Yeah.
All of his albums would sell millions and millions more copies.
you
That's
literally
true.
become a legend. People start making shit up about you.
I like-
Tupac died, and now he's a god.
Quick thing, I like your new joke about Drake, Kanye.
Oh yeah, Drake, Kanye, Drake,
We
Kanye?
just sum up what everybody says on a daily basis.
Mm.
Darren and Will, Kanye, Drake, Kanye, Gambino,
Sam,
Drake,
Flash, Flash.
Flash, movie trailer.
Movie trailer.
Movie
New
trailer.
movie trailer.
Yeah.
Steve, ooh, 80s, 80s, 80s,
80s,
80s,
toys,
farts, Ghostbusters.
You don't know about the 80s?
Toys.
Toys.
Oh, and Keytar.
Keytar.
Yeah, Lieberman, Kale.
And
I have never
I'm a
mentioned
clear.
Kale in my life.
I'm gonna clear the record. Lieberman probably mentioned Kale once, maybe, and it might have been we were in the writers' room and said, "Do you want to do that Kale story?" Nah, and I was like, "Yeah, Lieberman did that Kale story." I started that rumor. It's not true.
But I
Rumor.
still, I don't see anything wrong with being the kale guy.
There's nothing wrong
There's
with it.
nothing wrong. You're
It's-
a very healthy man.
I'd rather be
I
the
wish I
kale
was
guy than
more
the
healthy.
CrossFit guy.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah, at least
you're not the
There
CrossFit
you go.
guy.
Mm-mm.
Or the Crocs guy.
Oh no.
Ooh, you know, I gotta be honest. So Crocs sells knockoff Converse. They're really comfortable.
Really?
They're really,
Don't you
really.
dare, Sam.
Hold on, Crocs. Listen to me. You guys have good shoes. I'm sorry.
Sam, you're the Crocs guy.
I'm fine with that.
That's worse. Like, you were real trendy. Sam goes home every day and eats out a jar of Nutella. He's very likable.
That's
But
what I
that
eat every
line
day.
just ruined it.
Ooh.
Yay.
Do you embellish your Crocs?
Huh?
Do you put the little, like the dingle toppers, the dingle dings?
What are
Hold
dingle
on,
the
you-
BB Bop Boo
toppers?
Boos?
You know too much about Crocs, Bree.
I don't know
I
that
have
much.
family in the South.
Bree's wearing Crocs right now. We gotta crucify her.
No, you know the little little trinkets, like the things that you can pop into the holes. Like the
No, they have
watermel-
trinkets.
I'm not
They have
sure
like
about
watermelon,
this.
ladybugs. They have like
What?
like a little
This
guitar.
sounds
It's like
great.
it's like
I
a
thought-
charm
I
bracelet.
thought
for
that
your
the whole
Crocs.
point was that you have the holes so that the shoes breathe.
Your life has to be real nice to buy Crocs. To add accessories to your shoes.
Yeah.
Man, where I come from, people are like, I can't eat. I can't add to my shoes.
Yeah, the accessory to shoes in New Jersey is you draw checkers on those shoes.
You draw
Yeah.
checkers on it. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
around the sole.
You had your friends drawing it during class.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I remember a kid once set my arm hair on fire. I didn't even realize
that
it.
would happen.
Ouch.
Yeah.
How did you not realize it?
Well, because I was looking over here, and then all of a sudden, I felt something, and I like slapped it away. And he just thought it was the funniest thing. I think it was Nikita.
I hate Nikita.
Nikita Mensa.
And that CW show I never saw.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I know you've seen it. You watch CW, Bree.
I have actually never seen Nikita, but I've seen basically everything else.
Imagine
I've
a
seen
17-year-old
Nikita.
who already
You
looks like a
would.
26-year-old male model.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that guy. That's who he
That's
was. He was a very
Nikita.
nice guy, but like he lived
he
a
sounds
strange,
nice.
charmed life
I
where like
Nikita.
teachers are hitting on him and like just
Ew.
He
weird.
was probably an undercover cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I remember at the Target.
Doesn't that make so much sense?
That
Like, now
makes
he's,
a
like,
lot of my
rethinking
life
his entire life.
make way more sense.
he tried
Do you
to
need
get
to
into
go
an
stand?
altercation with you.
Do you need to go stand on the edge of the Pacific Ocean and rethink everything?
That's
think so.
that's real metaphoric. That's
Oof.
real.
Yeah.
Why do people go when they want to think about things? They go and look at stuff. How is that going to help you?
You look for something that offers meaning or perspective. Like I like looking out at the ocean because I like feeling like there's something endless out there and I'm not trapped.
Yeah.
I pace. When I'm trying to think of something, I realize I didn't do it on purpose. I was pacing around, and I was like, I always do this. And I realized when you watch the movies and the guy's mad and he's like pacing, I was like, oh, pacing helps. Like once again, it's the getting muscle movement while your brain
Getting
is
blood
thinking.
flow. Yeah.
You're getting blood flow.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hat right now, aren't I?
You are
Yeah.
wearing
and
a hat.
glasses.
Uh-huh.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I look like an idiot.
You're
look
okay.
No, it was fine.
You look
When
great.
I'm brainstorming, I'm at my best when I'm not a sports guy at all, but when I have a football to throw, like just throw up or throw back and forth with somebody, it really helps me think.
I like that. We should do
Repetitive
Yeah.
motions help like with thought or some
Until you
shit.
do that thing where the football hits your
that.
finger.
Sam, are you a scientist?
breaks
Yes,
it.
I am.
Aw.
Yeah.
You could have been. Sam knows a lot of science
know,
stuff. Ask him
I
about the
know.
Andromeda Galaxy.
What's the Andromeda
It's
Galaxy?
the closest galaxy to the Milky Way.
Well, is Pluto a planet?
I call it a planet.
Why?
That's because it's just a fucking name. It doesn't mean anything.
I thought you knew more than that.
You put me on the blast.
I don't think that's blast. That's on
It's
the spot.
not at all, yeah.
That's spot. Blast is you're bad.
I just like saying on blast.
Blast is fun.
Mhm.
Blast
Like
is
on
Sam
fleek.
is so smart that we all say, I'm Sam.
I'm Sam.
I'm
That's
Sam.
I don't know
Sam.
why that's so fun,
It
but I just
is.
like saying I'm Sam.
I said it during that signing for 4 hours. I
Yes.
said that
You did.
over and over
and then
over
I started
again.
saying it.
I think I just drilled it into your brains.
I'm Sam.
I'm Sam.
I'm Sam.
I'm
and
Sam.
I'm Sam.
What do you think about Sam? Like
Hmm?
mostly. What do you think you think about?
You
mostly?
know.
What?
Flash.
Flash,
No, I
flash,
don't know.
flash.
I think
It's comforting though, right?
Yeah, I think about things that I should probably think about more like real world things. I like to think about alternate universes, about the choices I've made, and what are the other options I could have done with those choices. Not dwelling in the past, but like what would happen if I did this differently?
Mhm.
What would happen if I did
Oh,
this
but then
differently?
you're thinking in the past.
No, but I'm not focusing on it. I'm just like kind of like pondering, like
Pondering.
you know, like
okay.
yeah, it's
as
not,
long as you're not regretting it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
I think I'm the opposite. I think only about the future. Only about the future.
you gotta learn to think about right now.
I do not live in the present at all.
That's
Like,
not
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. The Dalai Lama has some quote he has about it, about like, man will like sacrifice his health for his job and his job for money, and like he does not live in the present. People don't live in the present right now.
My favorite quote is from Kung Fu Panda. He says, "The past is a memory, the future is a fucking dream."
Is a
and
mystery.
I missed. Oh,
Jack Black
that's
said
what it
that?
is. Yeah.
The past is history. The future is a mystery, but the present
Is a
but
gift.
is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
Yeah, today's a gift. That's why they call it the present. That's
Yeah.
what the quote is. It's great. It's so
Aw.
It's a
said
great.
by a
It's
turtle.
a great quote.
Yeah.
It's said by not Dustin Hoffman.
Dr.
Hoffman.
Seuss.
Speaking of DreamWorks, why do the Minions exist?
That's not DreamWorks.
That's not DreamWorks.
Which-
That's Illumination Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher
Okay,
Meladandri.
I was with you on that. Like, I had no
I
idea.
hate the Minions.
I hate the Minions.
I don't like those little fucking yellow fuckers.
You don't go
No.
one day without seeing them now.
I
No.
saw a great sketch last week at a live show where it was someone talking about like drawing a picture of what they think Homer Simpson's erect dick looked like,
It's a minion.
and
It's a
then they
minion.
turn around and it was a minion.
It's
That's
just,
amazing.
The government came up with the Minions to distract us from Afghanistan
Or Syria at the very least.
or Syria.
Yeah.
At the least.
At the least.
Mhm.
You guys watching that show The Brink on HBO?
No.
It's like one of those things where it's more fun than it is funny, but I appreciate it because it's very different and it's like zippy and crazy, and there's good people in it.
What's your guys' favorite TV show? All
Period?
time,
All
all time,
time.
all time favorite TV show. It can
Oh,
be a
you
drama,
can't
it can
do this
be
to me.
it can be comedy, it can be sci-fi. My favorite, I can say proudly, is Fringe, and it definitely
That's a great
it climbed
show.
up its own asshole during the 4th season. Every
Fringe?
fan knows
Yes.
that. It's made by the guys who made Lost, and it's in the beginning it's like a procedural cop show where like something sci-fi happens, but
Okay.
it's not like he became invisible. It's like this guy is in like a fucking tragedy and like his
It's-
body's invisible and we have to fucking figure out what his
I
body
really
is.
like low-key sci-fi. Like where it's not like too big sci-fi. Like it's the real world, but like kind of like how Batman, like the Batman game that just came out. Have you guys seen
Yeah.
Steve play that for
Yeah,
20
yeah.
hours? It's like real life, but kind of different. Like it's a little bit futuristic.
Yeah, I love Fringe too. If I were to pick a show though, it's so hard because I love TV.
Yes, you do.
A lot. But Friday Night Lights to me is like the most perfect show. I mean, the second season is terrible. Just skip it and then go right to the third
Is
season.
that
but
emotional show? Or
it's an
like-
incredibly emotional show.
Oh, no,
it's
thank
it's
you.
like just a perfect human drama, and the first season of that show might be the most perfect season of any show
Are there jokes
ever.
in it?
That's cool.
There are jokes sometimes.
You know, I really liked Sherlock so much that I had to stop watching it.
Yeah, you say that a lot, and I don't quite.
I don't get
that.
that.
It was
Why?
distracting to me. It's distracting.
You
to me.
just-
How far did you
you could
get?
be watching
the
it
second
instead of
season.
doing anything else.
Yeah, I want to do other things. Like I can't be thinking about Sherlock Holmes all the time.
Why
'cause
not?
I did. I really like the world of Sherlock Holmes, like all the books and everything. I don't know. It was just. I
Your
want to
thing.
think about other stuff.
Yeah.
Now I think about other things. But my favorite show, I want to say, and not including anime, is Frasier. I know I talk about Frasier a lot.
That's okay.
I love Frasier.
I gotta
Every
add that to your
episode
thing.
is perfect. Huh?
Yeah, Frasier,
Frasier,
Kanye,
Kanye, Drake.
What about you, boy?
Chris Rock.
Skins, hands down, best show ever made. I think it's a perfect television show. I think it's so well written. I think it's exactly what teens need to see because I feel like that's where you're at as a teen.
That
Like,
show
that's
is
where your
very
head's
cool
at.
because it's written by teenagers.
No way.
Yes,
I mean,
no, it is.
No way.
No, the way that they wrote that show was the creator of the show wrote the pilot with his son, his 15-year-old son, and he gathered a writer's room of kids between the ages of 14 and 18, and they wrote the show together.
I don't
know
think
what?
his son was 15, but I do know that they did bring some kids in to help write.
It was,
but
I'm
pretty
telling
sure
you,
he
the
wasn't.
staff was all teenagers.
I believe that,
Yeah.
but I don't think his son. I think the father's son. I think the son was in his like late 20s.
Kid
Let me look it up.
Look it up, but
I've only seen
Brilliant.
it once. Thank you, Bree,
You're
this
welcome.
weekend. But like, it is kind of from the perspective of young people.
Yeah.
Like that's how, as an adult, I'm like, young people don't think like that. But that's because I'm an adult now. But as a youth, I would have been like, yeah, that is how I see things.
Those
I know
kids were
that's what-
cooler than I was.
We forget, absolutely, especially
Well,
that dancing
yeah.
one. Man, I can do. What's funny is when that show came out, that kid who dances,
Maxie.
people were back then were probably like, ew, for some reason. But now, from my perspective, that kid is cool.
No, that kid is super cool.
That
He
kid
was
is
always
super
super
cool. Yeah, like that's what I just think the world has gotten so much more open-minded and has changed, and I think that's beautiful.
I just think that type of show is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They even, I mean,
And that one kid boned Jennifer Lawrence.
Nicholas Holt. Yeah, I think. Okay, so the way Skins
Congratulations.
works. is-
Congratulations. We'd all say, all men come
Yeah.
up to him and say,
For real.
congratulations.
You did it. You did it, sir. You did it.
The cool thing about the show is that it's always fresh because every 2 seasons or it's like every series they switch the cast completely. So
That
it
bugs
moves
the
on.
shit out of me when people
Yeah.
say series instead of seasons.
I
Like,
know.
I'm
British
not because
people.
I don't want to be like, oh, that's wrong. It's because like, oh, who cares?
Well, in the U.S., after 2 seasons, they switch the cast out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's and then you never
that's
hear
cool.
from the other people
What, do
again.
they graduate or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Yes, and then it moves on to the next generation, kind of, and then.
Digress.
What happened at the very end was they took the 3 most popular characters from the entire show.
And they all got hit by a bus.
Yeah, they all got hit by a bus. No,
Okay.
but they wait. They brought them back for 2-hour mini series for their own individual stories. So this is like 5 years
adults?
later
I think that's
as
interesting.
adults. And they continue
The
the
writing
story.
staff was actually, I was wrong. It's people between the ages of 18 and 26.
Yeah.
Along with the guy who created it.
You still know what it's like to be a youth. But after that, like, you start to forget.
You
And
forget it real
also,
quick.
It changes because what it was like being a youth in 2006 is very different than what it's like being a youth in 2016.
That's
what It will
true.
be like.
That is
Yeah.
true. My favorite part about the entire show is that every episode is sort of catered. It moves the story along, but it's catered to one individual character.
That's
and
good.
A
so
type of teenager.
Anime does
a
that
type
too.
of teenager, but it's also stylistically completely different from each episode.
That's
like,
what I think is great.
Like one character you'll hear classical music because she's interested in classical music, so the whole episode will feature that, and stylistically it'll be like from her perspective. Whereas another kid listens to metal, so he's like a metalhead, so there's metal the entire time. I think that's so
Does
cool.
different people write it for the different characters?
Yeah,
that would be even more
so
interesting.
each member of the writing staff will write 1 or maybe 2 episodes a season about a particular character, and some of the writers actually then play the character on the show.
That's
I want to
Yeah.
see Heroes come back.
It is
gonna be
coming
good?
back
I
in the
mean,
fall.
Is it going to be good?
I don't know. I
don't know.
honestly couldn't tell you.
I will
That
ask you guys. I
was
don't
one of
know.
the best first seasons of any show ever. Of
It was
Heroes.
very
Oh yeah,
cool.
Save
I
the
was
cheerleader.
really
Save the
addicted at
cheerleader,
the
save the
time.
world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Even
very
Darren
different.
liked that shit, and he doesn't like superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
He's
honestly
nodding.
had no idea what to do with it.
Oh no, they didn't. They
No.
didn't plan. Actually, if they had ended it there, like fans would be like, "I want more," but like,
But it would have been
best.
it would have protected its legacy. You almost like going back to that conversation from earlier about dying young and your work becoming more popular. You almost would rather your career end horribly early than to fall off and be crap.
Die a
like-
hero and don't live long enough to become a villain.
Well, I mean, yeah, you look at like say like John Lennon versus Paul McCartney. John Lennon is like a legend. Paul McCartney is also a legend, but he's also lived long enough to put out some stuff that's just kind of like,
Yep.
eh.
Yeah,
So
what's
like,
that Christmas song you hear every Christmas?
oh yeah,
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
wonderful
simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I hate that song.
But
Question
he was
now.
on Kanye's song recently, and it was dope. But
Wouldn't you rather just like not be
really
murdered
was.
though?
I would rather
I
not
liked
be
it.
Oh, I'll
murdered,
take
but
the
I'd rather retire before I
Don't-
make garbage.
don't murder me yet. All right.
But don't
once
you
I make
want
the-
as much money as possible?
No,
Especially
because
when you're that old.
if you make great stuff and then you stop making stuff, like as long as it's that good, you'll continue to get money from it. Like
And
Here's
do
the
a
thing about
reunion
Paul McCartney
tour.
though.
There you
People
go.
still like him.
People
you
still
may
love
not. My parents still love him, and they
Sure.
still love the shit he's putting out, even though to us it may be shit.
Maybe
so
to
that
them it's still
he-
shit
it-
too.
he doesn't
Maybe.
have any
I
auto-tune
don't
yet.
know. Yeah, I don't know. Some people, everyone has an audience.
I was
still have an audience.
When I was 17, I idolized John Lennon. I thought about that was my new whatever it is I like now. Chris Rock, Drake, Kanye. I idolized John Lennon. Why did I start talking about that?
I don't know.
John Lennon, you liked it?
He
17.
didn't
until
die.
Yeah.
He,
Until-
he
did you
died.
just-
Legend.
did you stop liking him?
Oh yeah, I stopped liking him as
Why?
much as I used to because it took a long time.
I don't know. I just think
I
I
forgot.
think about the Killers. The Killers are an amazing example. The band The Killers, because their first album was kind of universally loved by everybody, and nothing they have made since has hit nearly as hard. And I remember my friend Alex and I were obsessed with The Killers in college, and we wanted to write like a Killers movie musical. But
That's
with
awesome.
every album that has come out since, it matters less and less because we'd really only want to use songs from that first album.
They
You
get
know
one
what,
hits
though?
on each album.
That's interesting, though.
There are a
Kinda.
couple
You could just
songs
use
from
that
every
one.
album that they have where I'm like, I could listen to this forever.
I don't know it.
Like there's
Kanye
a song
made
called
a-
"My List" by The Killers.
Yeah, from the
Oh,
second album.
that
Kanye
makes
made a
me
movie from
so
his own
happy.
music, and it was amazing. From his
Oh,
album.
the Runaway
You know
short
that
film?
was dope.
That was awesome.
That was incredible.
That was legitimately my first exposure to Kanye was that short film and the performance of Runaway on the
Okay.
VMAs.
So if you're expecting good acting, don't watch that.
yeah.
Kanye knows he cannot act.
No, it's an art film.
I'll never let you burn. But that was probably the worst line delivery I've ever heard. But the rest of the movie is amazing.
Is slick and crazy.
Great direction.
What is it exactly?
It's a 50-minute music video using like
all his songs from
all
the
the songs from the album that it doesn't make any sense, but it's like about his relationship
Oh,
with
it
this
does.
bird woman,
It's actually,
but it's his art.
the reason why she's a bird is because I read about it. Is he said that he's attracted to bird brain women who are not dumb, and you notice, who are very dumb. And notice in the movie, she can't even pick up a cup. She cannot think.
Does that sound bad?
I
yeah,
mean,
that's kind of
He's not saying all women are like that. He's
No,
saying
he's just
the
saying-
one that he liked was like that.
The one he
so
liked.
is
So,
he
yeah.
saying that Kim Kardashian is a bird brain?
I mean, that was 5 years before, or like a couple years before. But
Okay. Oh.
I mean, but like society.
but he
will
was
tell you.
already in love with her, I thought.
Yeah, but it's just an interesting thing. Yeah.
Huh.
Everyone completely forgets that Kim Kardashian was married to that basketball player for like a second.
Yeah.
What was his name? Reggie Watts.
Chris Humphries.
Yeah, Reggie Watts.
Oh,
Reggie
Reggie
no,
Watts.
that was her other boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was Reggie
Watts.
Re-
something.
Reggie
What?
Miller?
What if she was married to Reggie Watts
Watts.
though?
That would be an amazing couple.
Would
It'd
they
be
like her?
interesting.
Would they
I
like
would
her?
like her more.
If she was married to
If
Reggie
she was
Watts.
married to Reggie
If
Watts,
she was
I
married
would
to
like
a
her more.
comedian, yeah, I
That's
think
a
I
power
think you're-
couple.
yeah.
But not
That's
just
a power
any
couple.
comedian. That is a universally lovable person, Reggie Watts.
I hugged him once.
I
He
don't
just
think he'll-
makes
really?
fun art.
cool.
Or was that my friend? Nah, that was my friend. I was just there and watched it. That was a couple years ago. It wasn't me that hugged
You
Reggie
just watched
Watts.
him?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, who are some of your
I was there,
favorite
though.
artists?
Like,
Musicians, bands.
I love The National. I know it's like sad dad rock,
I don't.
but I love them. Why don't you love them?
I don't know. They always play on my Alt J station,
Mhm.
and I just have to turn them off. I'm so sorry, Matt. I
You don't have to
skip 'em.
apologize.
Is that
Skip 'em.
Pandora that you're talking
No,
about?
Spotify.
Oh.
But I absolutely love them. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. Warren Zevon is a 70s artist that like nobody listens to, but he's incredible. The one song everybody knows is Werewolves of London, but most of his stuff is like really sad. It's like all about being addicted to drugs in Los Angeles, basically.
That doesn't
But,
sound fun.
It's not fun, but it's like really moving and beautiful and sad. And sometimes when you like want to have like a good cry, like listen to some of his stuff. Listen to oh
Why do we
God.
like idolize like drug addicts? Like it's not fun. It not even a little bit.
A lot of
Well,
them made some really great art.
Yeah,
Let's
they
be
do.
real.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
But not like meth. Whoever, no one that has done meth has been like, oh, I also made the Yellow Submarine.
Hold
like,
on.
at least
The
that we
guy-
know about.
One guy that we do know who made meth is now an A-list actor, Tom Hardy.
He made meth,
He made it and he smoked it. Yeah.
and
Wow.
he looks
in,
good.
In an interview, he was like early 2000s. He was like, I was gonna sell. He's like, I was willing to sell like my family to get meth. Like that was the thing. Don't
Wow.
quote me, but yeah, that was something like that I read.
He's just Tom Hardy is just like Nick and Aaron Carter.
Yes.
He's
Who
just
are
like so
Bane.
addicted to meth.
Were they
Wait,
really?
really?
Oh yeah. Have you seen? Look at what
Aaron
happened.
Carter was
Look at
addicted
what
to
happened
meth?
to Aaron Carter's face between now and like even 6 years
Did you
ago.
Maybe he
not
just lost
realize
weight.
that
Oh,
Bree is
no.
an early 20s woman? She loves Aaron Carter.
I
Look,
loved him.
any-
His birthday's December 17th.
Do you remember when the Carters, when the Carters had that reality show, like Aaron's
Yes.
house or Carter's house or whatever, Nick's house?
I actually don't
Yeah.
remember that.
During the whole shooting of that show, he was on meth.
Oops.
What about when he was on Lizzie McGuire?
Yes.
Was he
Ro-
on meth
oh my
on
god,
Lizzie
do you
McGuire?
remember that fucking Christmas episode? Ugh.
I really do.
I
yeah.
died and they kissed on the lips and I died.
Where
You
is she
died?
now?
I was
Then what are
in
you
fifth
doing
grade.
He's
here?
doing fine.
She's doing fine.
I'm a ghost.
Bree, now I know how to answer that question from Table Talk a few days ago. You're my favorite ghost.
Oh, thank
Oh
you.
yeah, who's your
Favorite
favorite
ghost?
ghost?
I certainly have the
my
skin
favorite
tone. Hey Sam, what are some of your favorite artists?
Alt J is pretty good.
Alt J is pretty
That's pretty good. Artists, I don't think of them that way. They definitely are artists. I just never think of it that way. Joshua Radin, don't know how to say it right.
Radin, I think,
Radin,
yeah.
have you ever listened to
Yeah,
him? He's
I used to
very
like
good,
him.
very moody. Ben Folds.
Yes.
What is the lead singer from Death Cab for Cutie?
Oh, not Colin Malloy.
Zoe Deschanel's ex. That's all
Maybe
I
it
know.
is Colin
Joseph
Malloy.
Gordon-Levitt.
Huh?
I
Somebody
don't
scream.
even know who she did.
Oh, Ben Gibbard.
Ben Gibbard,
I
yeah,
heard
him
Gibbard.
in Death Cab for Cutie and Postal Service.
Right. Colin
There you go.
Malloy is the lead singer of the Decemberists, who is also an amazing band.
Oh,
Decemberists
such a
is
good
really good.
band. I used to love them.
Yeah, I got to see them in concert. They're great live.
I loved them. Decemberists and Arcade Fire were like when I was 17. That was
Yeah.
my shit.
I got to see both of them live. Wow. Yeah, I got to
I'm
see
jealous.
Arcade Fire live at the Shrine with my then girlfriend and her dad. It was weird, but
That
it was
is-
cool.
Did you ever see the Shins?
I've never seen the
They
Shins
were my
live.
fave.
Did you see them before or after they broke up?
I never
'cause
saw them.
The Shins broke up?
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
broke up a few years ago, and the Shins now is just the lead singer
James
from
Mercer.
the original Shins, and then a bunch of new people.
That's what Panic at the Disco is, apparently. And it's Brendan. I said that once before in some video, and people fucking murdered me about it. It's
Yeah.
Brendan,
Oh.
not Brandon.
Brendan Urie.
Brendan, sorry. It's the same name.
Lieberman and
Urie.
I saw him live.
You did at the
Yeah,
Shorty
at the
Awards.
Shorties.
What were the Shorty
Lieberman
Awards
was
like?
too drunk to remember.
I would. I'll tell you what the Shorty Awards were like, Sam. It was a cool winter's day.
I mean, it was, but especially for you.
Yeah, I had so my favorite whiskey was the sponsor of the Shorty Awards,
Yeah.
and I had nowhere to
Which
go.
whiskey?
It was Maker's 46,
Not
not just
bad.
Maker's Mark,
Wow,
but Maker's
okay.
46, their fancy version,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was all free because we were nominees. So I had like 4, and they were
course.
big pours. I met Rachel Dratch and put her in a Snapchat that got in the
Love her.
New York
Yeah,
City story
I remember that.
with Steve. I met Matthew Santoro.
I saw Nick. Oh no, not Nick Jonas. Was Kevin Jonas?
Kevin
Jonas
Jonas.
for a whole second. I saw him there.
There was this dude who was like he was a manager and he was trying to talk to you and Steve, to Will and Steve, and you guys flat out ditched me with him and Matthew Santoro at Junior's Cheesecake. I know.
Like he was on my nuts.
I know,
Oh
but
my
at the
God.
same time,
Yeah.
he was super rude to me all night.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, after you guys abandoned us, he suddenly was trying to be nice to me
Yeah.
to try to get me to help him find you.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, it's not because of
Weird.
me. He didn't even know me. It was just like once he found out that we were nominees. So anybody that was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on the list for the thing," he would have been like, "Oh," he didn't care. And especially once we won the award, he was low key on my nuts. Then when we won the award, then he was like, "Where y'all going? Y'all want to do some cocaine or whatever the hell he offered us?" And I was like, "No, man, go back to."
I do not remember him
You
Yeah, he
guys
was
offering
didn't
cocaine.
say yes. For
No,
shame.
hell no.
No.
do
And then I went on
drugs.
his Instagram later because he commented on mine. He had all these photos of him, just being all having all these emotional photos of
Swole.
him. I was like, oh my god, dude, calm down. Wherever you're from, that's different.
Remember when Bill Nye said my name?
Bill Nye
Yes.
said your
I'm
name.
dropping that.
We were all at
Yeah.
the office watching, and we all freaked out when Bill Nye said your name.
Sam
I heard you
Basher.
scream. I
Yeah.
heard you scream in the audience. I knew it was Lieberman.
Yeah.
That was a Lieber.
Yeah, I
scream.
was rowdy during that show, but people liked it, so I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to drink to excess ever.
Yeah.
But when it's A, free, B, I don't have to go anywhere, and C, I'm uncomfortable because it's like a big social situation, it might happen.
Hey, Lieberman, I don't want you feeling guilty, do you? Did you hurt anybody?
I did not hurt
Did you
anyone.
get behind the wheel of a vehicle?
I never did.
Did you even think about it?
No, not once.
Then you're good.
Yay.
I was great. I was a unicorn.
Did you hurt
Whoa.
anybody?
No, I didn't. I
Alright.
didn't hurt shit. I
How
might have
about your
stepped on
liver?
someone's foot.
That happens. You would have done that not
happens.
drunk.
Yeah.
It's a casualty of
Yeah.
the drunk.
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Speaking of omelets, I'm hungry.
Ooh.
Really?
I
What's
wanna-
your dream omelet, Sam?
Omelette
Dream
du
omelet?
fromage.
Yeah.
Omelette
Omelette
du
du
fromage.
fromage. That's a
Omelette
great
du
episode of
fromage.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why? How did you know that?
You could only speak
Um,
French. You
Yes,
don't remember
that's
that one?
like
Yeah.
the classic Dexter episode.
He
Yeah.
fell
Omelette
asleep
du
with the
fromage.
record of
That
it
was
was
my
like how to
impression.
speak French. It was a record and the needle skipped and it just kept saying omelette du fromage over and over and over again all night long. So that was all he could say.
Oh, those shows were incredible, weren't they? What are they?
Yes.
Not Hanna-Barbera, but
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it
you're
is
right.
Hanna-Barbera.
It's
Well,
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network, they bought Hanna-Barbera, so it's the same
Yeah.
thing, but like cartoons.
I went back and watched an episode of Powerpuff Girls like maybe a month or two or three ago, and it was the one where they did some kindergarten stuff, and it was so good. Any episode with him in it is my favorite episode.
I love
him
those.
the-
Mojo
the
Jojo's so funny.
Demon
The
thing?
demon
Yeah.
lobster thing.
Meet the Beatles was a great
The
episode.
Beatles?
The Beatles episode. There's just like a lot of really excellent
Well
writing
thought
on
out,
those shows.
yeah.
There's one episode that I've never finished, and it's kind of haunted me to this day of
Why?
Powerpuff Girls. Because
What
there's
is
an
it?
episode. 'Cause it
When they
was
run
so
into the
interesting.
future?
Is that what it is? I think that's what
They
it is.
run into the
No, because
future.
they're flying, and then all of a sudden, like time stops,
Mhm.
and like a thought or whatever someone said gets repeated, and they're like, "Wait, why'd you say that again?" And all of a sudden, the power went out in our house, and we're like,
Oh,
"I've
really?
never found it again. I don't know why. I've honestly never really
It's
searched
prob-
for it
I
too."
feel like
but
it's a really scary episode where they're like,
it's like an alternate
they,
some shit.
they're late for something. I don't know what happens, and they're like, "We got to run fast," and they run through the city, and then they run so fast that I don't know. I think they slow down time and they go into the future, and they're like, "The Powerpuff Girls have been gone for 10 years," and him took over the world, and it was incredible.
Really?
And
Okay,
I
I'm
think it's
gonna
one of
go
the
look.
last episodes too.
Did
I'm
you
gonna
guys
look.
ever see there was a Dexter's Lab movie that's never been released since where he goes into the future to see what he has accomplished with
Oh, I
his
think I've
life,
seen that.
and he sees that the world has been destroyed. And it turns out it's because Mandark stole one of his inventions when he was in his early 20s, and Mandark takes over the world. And it's like 4 different Dexters from 4 different timelines have to team up to fight Mandark. And it was just
Oh, yeah, yes, I
the
did see
Can
that.
I
coolest-
just say,
I
I
have seen
legit just got chills, and that's really sad.
All
No, it's not sad at all.
Can I be
Yeah.
honest? Can I be honest? I would have gone down to, if I was Dexter, I would have gone back to my regular time. I would have gone down to the hood and find the hoodiest dude I know, gave him like $50 and say, "We about to go and beat Mandark's ass." And we're
Yeah.
gonna say, "Hey, Mandark, if you ever think about stealing some shit from me, this was gonna happen." Beat his ass. He would have been like ruined as a person,
You don't
especially
know
as a young
time
child.
traveler rules.
But it would have been good.
You
You don't know time traveler rules. Once you try
Yeah.
to change something, it makes it happen anyways,
It happens regardless.
or something.
Some things are called fate. Haven't you seen an episode of That's So Raven?
Yeah.
I have seen many episodes of That's So
Raven.
Raven.
That's so Raven.
That's So Raven.
I remember.
That's so Raven.
I remember like there was one where they dealt with racism. It was really cool.
And That's so Raven.
Yeah.
And That's So Raven. There was a episode where a person wouldn't hire Raven or one of her
Oh.
friends because they didn't hire black people.
Whoa.
That
It was
did
really
happen,
heavy.
huh?
I was like,
On
as a
Disney
kid, I
I
was
Channel.
like,
also, again, just got chills.
it was good.
like,
Okay.
Disney
That
Channel used to be
racism
cool.
doesn't exist in Disney. They don't.
No.
Not really.
I mean, they don't.
Not
they try
anymore.
very hard to like. They're like, we will not let racism slip again. They like try real hard, but
Uh-huh.
it happens.
Or they try to fix it because Song of the South is still like
So
ooh.
funny.
Bra Patch.
Bra patch. Bra patch. That takes me
Tar
back.
babies.
Tar
right?
babies.
Jesus
Mm.
Christ.
So okay, it's real bad and real sad,
Yeah.
but it's so funny how like they try to like legitimately take slavery and say we like slavery.
If
Like,
you've
no.
never heard of Song of the South, maybe you've heard the song Zippity Doo Dah. That comes from a movie that's a mixture of live action and animation, and it's
Brilliant.
basically a movie all about how slavery was the best thing ever.
What's the guy's name? Uncle Remus is a
Yeah.
slave
Who's having a great time,
having a great time as a slave.
looking
He's
after
like,
the white kids.
Hey kids, come on down! Like it was. But it's in
Jesus.
hindsight, in the future, it's hilarious that somebody was so dumb to think that this was okay to do.
And they built
Yeah.
a whole ride out
That
of
is
that
still
movie.
at Disney
And that is
Splash
still
Mountain.
Still
Yeah,
at Disney. I
Splash
haven't been on it yet.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's
Yeah.
a lot of
They
fun.
don't
I'm
let
sure
black
it
people
is.
ride
They
it.
don't-
They don't let them ride.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get on
No,
it.
you
might
gotta
not like
work.
it.
You gotta actually operate the machines. That's all you get to do.
That makes
Yep.
me think about what we were talking about earlier
Shit.
today. That Black Panther comic book. What from?
Oh no,
called-
all Negro comics.
all
Uh,
Negro comics.
It was on this Wikipedia, and it's like it led back to like all Negro comics. It's a one issue, shocker, from the 1940s.
Shocker.
Yeah.
It didn't sell.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. It's just the
It's
the
bad.
internet is so amazing because everything that's ever happened
Is there.
and now we can see it, and that's why I think the world is becoming more open-minded, because now people, no matter where you live, you can go on the internet and say, oh, there are people who are different than me, I should pay attention to them, and that's why, internet's
Or that everyone is on some level the same.
Yeah.
Like finding that common ground between people. Like I think Reddit AMAs are some of the best things ever.
it
'Cause-
humanizes people.
Yeah, it really, really does in a way that you just can't or never could.
We
before.
haven't done those in a while.
Yeah, we
No,
haven't. We
they're
should
fun.
bring
We
that
should.
I was
back.
thinking about doing
Let's
one for
do
the
that.
news
Speaking
channel,
about
shit.
humanizing, did you guys have idols when you were growing up?
always.
People, not like fictional people, but like people like you looked up to Gandhi or like you looked
And the
up
Dalai
to
Lama.
I looked up to
somebody.
Kevin Smith, which is way less lofty than Gandhi.
He's
but-
still good.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when you're young, when you're like, especially like a young white nerd boy, like that's like your first step into R-rated movies. It's like, oh man, he says fuck all the time, and like he knows what Star Wars is. Like this is the coolest guy ever, and like the movies aren't that good.
And
but
you heard him tell that story about how he was gonna make a Superman movie.
Mhm.
His Superman movie sounded real bad.
oh yeah,
yeah.
totally. Well, it wasn't
Yeah, but-
entirely his fault, and it was because they were trying to do the death of Superman, which is one of the worst arcs ever. But when I was 17, I was out here at UCLA doing a pre-college program, and he used to have a comic book store in Westwood. And I used to go all the time, and I went one time, and he was there, and he took the time. He took like 20 minutes to talk to me. I could have been anybody, and he was so nice to me and talking to me about my script that I was working on, and from being from New Jersey and being a filmmaker. And it's like, it taught me always be kind to anybody who wants to know anything about what you do, who cares about what you do, or just is grateful to you. Always be kind.
He is one of those like truly down to earth celebrities.
Yes.
He's so nice, and he just like no, he's on the level. He's on everybody's level.
Yeah. That's
And that's why he's so fucking cool.
I
And
don't
he
know
wears
much
that
about him,
same jersey.
honestly.
yeah, he does.
I want to do that too. I want to get to a place in my career where I can legitimately, actually, what I'm wearing right now, I want to wear every day.
The George
You already
Carlin,
do wear it
I mean,
every day.
the Louis C.K.
There's some days where I'm like, I can't today, but like I want to do the George Carlin, the Louis C.K. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart does it.
Yeah.
Damn him.
I mean, I always looked up to filmmakers.
Who's that?
Just any.
Spielberg.
No,
You know he
I
killed a rhino.
No,
What?
he didn't.
The-
People were sharing that dinosaur photo.
It's a photo of
Oh,
him from
yeah,
Jurassic
yeah.
Park with a dead dinosaur, and people are like, oh, how dare he
I
have it as a
remember that.
trophy? You
Yeah.
ignorant son of a
You're
bitch.
so stupid. That was so stupid. I looked up to like Godard and Truffaut because I was one of those kids. I was like, oh my god, they started like this revolutionary way of storytelling, and it was really cool. I still think they're great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really had I mean, I looked up to fictional characters, but when I was even like younger, I was like, I don't get the idea of looking up to a real person. Like these are
Because
people
they're
who
imperfect.
they are because they're imperfect, but like. I don't know. It's like they're being warped. These people who were good, true
Absolutely.
people that have flaws and everything, they were starting to be warped and like heightened, and like you ignore their bad sides. I didn't like that.
Because everybody, is everybody. I honestly believe. I know it's real cynical to say, but I believe everybody's an asshole.
Everybody is an asshole,
Yeah.
and you know what? Don't take it personally. It's everyone can be an asshole.
Everyone can be
Everyone's
an
That's
asshole.
true,
capacity to be an
and
asshole.
I do think looking up to, honestly, like artists is potentially harmful, just because we do often separate their work from who they are as people. Like Roman Polanski, Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite movies ever, but I haven't been able to watch it since that shit went down with him and the 13-year-old girl. It's like you can't.
Bill Cosby
Yikes.
and his stand-up,
Yeah.
or all that stuff. Like, there's a podcast out there. I did my friend Jason's podcast, Comedy on Vinyl, talking about one of Bill Cosby's albums, and I was supposed to go back and do another one. Now I don't know what album I would do.
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't talk about it
Ever since the
anymore.
Bill Cosby thing happened, I haven't been able to watch. I
He was
watched
maybe my favorite comic.
I watched a few minutes of the Cosby Show, but I can't listen to his stand-up.
What was that
I
show he
can't.
had with
Yeah.
kids?
Kids say the darndest
I
things.
used to watch that at late night when I couldn't
Yep.
sleep with my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that sucks. Man, this is depressing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I used to look up to fictional people because at least I knew that like this is unrealistic. There's nothing I can reach with who these people are, who these things are.
Well,
but at
Batman
least-
slapped Robin once.
That is true. At least whatever they stand for, these are ideals that I could at least try to live up to.
So who did you look up to?
The Flash.
Who else?
I don't know, comic book superheroes. Superman, I always liked
I used to
Superman.
look up to them a lot too.
Mhm.
And they're different in the comics than they are in the movies. They're way more real in the comic books than they are in the movies. Like Peter Parker is the least happy person in the whole world. It's never right. It's always like
Most
okay,
comic book characters are. They're pretty unhappy.
very
Yeah.
unhappy.
Yeah.
For Spider-Man, it's like, okay, now my job is going good. I'm making enough money, but Mary Jane is being horrible to me, and Aunt May is getting shot. But now Aunt May's fine, but Mary Jane's still real bad, and the job, like, it's never all right.
Well, yeah, because they're working all the time. Because when they're not working, they're saving people.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones that are close to the ground, like Spider-Man and Daredevil. But then you got the ones like Iron Man and like Captain America, the celebrities, and like it's very obvious in the comic book world how they're different. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like how complex it gets. But yeah, just about idols and things.
I like how Tony Stark's biggest enemy is himself.
And
It is
alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
He keeps picking it up.
Demon in a bottle.
Yeah, he keeps
He
doing
keeps-
it.
he keeps
You know,
picking
Black
it up.
Panther is like, he's one of the few comic book characters that they like, kind of like Batman, where they like, he doesn't really have flaws like that. Like what's wrong with Black Panther? He's rich. He's a king. He's like, he married Storm. Like, his life is pretty good. He ripped open Iron Man with a sword. Like, it's pretty cool being Black Panther. Like,
yeah.
I still, every time I hear Black Panther, I'm like, is something resurfacing from the Black Panther movement? Like,
Oh,
what's
no,
going
no, no,
on?
no.
And it's
Definitely
like, I'll
named.
never get over that.
no, he has nothing to do with that.
Wait.
According to
it came
Stan
out,
Lee, he
it
has
came
nothing-
out the same time though.
Really? Oh, maybe he lied.
The
about
name
The
is
name.
the only connection.
Okay,
The
no,
only
that's fine.
connection,
Yeah.
Is it?
He's not.
Mhm.
Yeah, did you know we have school lunches because of the Black Panther Party?
Really?
Yeah, I believe in Oakland they they organized to like start doing that, and then school started doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah, or maybe it was school breakfast. Maybe it was school breakfast because of the Black Panther Party.
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie I'm Not There, and it's a Todd Haynes film about Bob Dylan, and it's not actually about Bob Dylan. It's 6 different actors, including Kate Blanchett and a young African American kid, all playing characters that are based on aspects of Bob Dylan's personality. It's very experimental, but really cool and packed with amazing music. And there's this whole section where Bob Dylan's music, the Black Panther Party at the time thought that he was singing about them and about their political plight and was using his music to promote their message. And there's this like great scene where they're playing the song Ballad of a Thin Man, and the Black Panther Party like stops it, and they're like, I'm sorry, I don't see how this has anything to do with what we're doing. And this one guy's like, no, man, he's right there with us, you know, I can't even explain it. You have to
lot of
watch it. Look it up
musicians
on
have done
It was
that.
nominated, right?
It was nominated
That's why I remember
for.
it.
It was
Okay.
nominated for best screenplay. It was nominated for best actress
Yeah, wasn't
for
she
Kate
she was
Blanchett.
nominated.
She didn't win though, which is crazy because she was
She
amazing.
I-
is so fucking talented.
I think like Johnny Cash kind of does that, like talks about people's like issues in his music. Like you ever heard his song like Man in Black where he talks about why he wears black all the time, which is where I actually originally got it from was Johnny Cash. I used to love him a lot when I was younger.
You sing him.
Yeah.
Johnny
I can hear
Cash
it,
is the
No,
shit.
you
But
do a good impression.
Thank
speaking
you.
of the Black Panther Party, I mean, they're like responsible for spoken word poetry and slam poetry.
Which
the
is
last
great.
poets are inspiring.
We need to get on that. We need to get into like some poetry shit. Let's do
I'm-
it.
see,
That's
I'm
how
into
George
that.
Watsky
I'm into
started
it.
Def Poetry Jam when he was like 17.
Yeah.
I've
Takes
never really been
confidence.
into poetry.
I've
I've
never
always
really got
liked
into
it,
it. I love
enjoyed it,
poetry.
but I've never
Me
been
too.
into it
Yeah.
myself.
Me
I don't
too.
know.
No,
into
I used to write some terrible ass poems in high school, and there are
Everybody.
some of them still on the internet somewhere.
I'm still writing terrible ass poems.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Good
write
for
terrible
you.
Jokes
Thanks.
now.
Yay.
yeah. How's that going, Will?
Oh, okay, at most.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when you do an art like that, like especially performance art, I think you go through these periods where you're like, oh, everything I've done so far is terrible, and then you hate it, and then you're like, oh, I just wasted months. So like, I'm in one of those moods right now. I don't know. I gotta make.
I
some
know
new
that
stuff.
feeling.
Yeah.
I know, like I went back and looked at some old videos that I remember I'd spend so much time on, like so much time, and I'm like, and even then I was like, it's good enough, kinda, and like then I go back and look, I'm like, God
Yeah.
damn it, it's up here now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got too many views for me to take it down though.
Mm.
So
Make
That's
new
not
ones, make
true.
new ones.
You can always take something down.
there's one
taken
this
so much shit
dumbass
down.
thing. It's got so many views. It's just a challenge video with my friend and I just fucking around. When I'm older and go back and look at it, if it's still there, like that'll be a lot of fun to look
That'll be
at
a
for
lot of
me.
fun.
But I'm like, why are people watching this? Why are you watching it?
You could just private it.
Every once in a while, I like will look at my old videos, like 15-year-old me, like, and I don't listen to it. I keep the sound off, and I just look at myself, and I'm embarrassed.
I remember you showed us one in the editor's room that I thought was amazing
I think it's probably that one.
because it was clear that you shot the whole thing with a laptop.
With a laptop. I used to shoot my videos on laptop. I've had a lot of people, especially recently, like tell me like, you didn't earn like what you did. I was making videos on a laptop in 2008, 2007. Like it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
been working hard at this for a long time.
Yeah, like oh god.
Well, I mean, like, I think all of us on some level have been making YouTube videos for a while. Like, I was making sketches in college, like, from, like, 2007 on.
I was
And-
doing video production for at least 8 years now, and YouTube for like 6. So
I've been a vlogger since I was 9.
Did you just do it for
Dead
you?
serious.
Just for fun?
Yeah, I used to film myself all the time.
You just
and
didn't
I'd make
post
little
them.
short.
YouTube didn't exist.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Same
when
thing with-
YouTube started, I started posting.
Like I know we've talked about Casey Neistat, right? Like he like was just for there was nowhere to put videos back then. He would just back in like the early 2000s, maybe even the 90s, would just film himself doing things like climbing a mountain or whatever. But now there's a place to put it and to make some people make millions of dollars off of it. It's kind of incredible.
Some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everybody. A lot of people think anybody who has a YouTube channel makes millions of dollars, but that's not true. I had to take these earphones off. They're hurting my head.
Yeah,
That's
they're
fine.
hurting mine too.
that's
Well,
all good.
Show's almost
Well,
over.
we got 2
got-
minutes and 48 seconds left. End it right now. Leave 'em in. I'm just kidding. Whatever you want.
Does anyone have one last thing they want to talk about before we wrap up?
Tell me about this because you didn't get to explain it to me.
Oh, yeah. So I got Steve and I both got these, like, My Intent bracelets at the, we announced some of the Streamy Award nominees yesterday. And they were giving out these bracelets to all the people there, and like Kanye has one. And
No
it's-
way.
Yes, he does. He made it popular. He's their most famous person who has
Oh!
one.
Now I
His-
gotta get 6 of them.
His says beautify is his, and it's supposed to be something of meaning your intent when you make things, or your intent for living, like what you want to do with your life. And mine, as Steve says, praise logic.
Jokes.
Because jokes.
No,
but-
praise logic is actually something no one in the audience actually knows what praise logic means. It means something different to me and Steve than anybody else.
Well,
it's
if
way
he
deeper than
explained,
that.
and tell me if this is actually like what you two really feel about it. But they kept pressing him because like these people who made these things, and like I'm so grateful that they let us have them. And it was very nice. But they were like all over Steve because they were like, praise logic. That's so interesting. That's the coolest one we've ever made. What is that about? Tell us. And they took like 1,000 pictures of him. And he
That's
was
Steve's
like,
life, yeah.
yeah, and Steve was like, well, it's just like nobody praises logic. Nobody praises logic. Nobody considers that to be an important thing to really be grateful for and to talk about it or think about. So I praise logic.
Oh, he's so smart.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people because of their emotions or like their family or like their love. We don't think logically. We think
Emotionally or
emotionally,
reactively.
Yeah, And it's just when you really think about something, it's hard to because the truth hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You like a lot of people won't accept. Maybe you are the dumb one in the room. Praise logic. Like you,
Praise
like a lot
logic.
of people won't like logically think about it.
Yeah. So mine says the joy on it, which is like a phrase that I feel like some people think is lame, but it actually has a lot of meaning for me, which is the joy is just what I call like the ability to be blissfully happy and secure even for a moment by yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, you can find the joy either through creating things, through accomplishing things, building things, helping people, whatever. And the last time that I really experienced, I've experienced the joy a few times in the last couple of years, but when I realized what that was and named it, it was I went to a Mel's Drive-In diner by myself after going to therapy, and I had like just realized that I wasn't destined to become my father, and I ordered fried chicken. I ordered fried chicken, and I ordered a whole bunch of vegetables, and I put money into the jukebox on the table. I put songs on, even though like I'd always been taught that that's a waste of money. And I ate all my vegetables first because I valued my body, but then ate the chicken and like talked with my waitress and like danced to myself and like made my silverware dance. And it was just sort of like blissfully not giving a fuck if anybody thought I was weird for doing it. I was just doing what I wanted and it felt good. And that's the joy.
And you know, like, see, you did that by yourself. I think people like tend to hate people who do that. People who are
They judge them hard.
They judge them hard. If you speak how you feel and have an opinion or and just openly are yourself, people will get mad at you.
Oh yeah.
Because
I know how that feels.
Because
Yeah.
it reminds people that they haven't done it yet, or that it's impossible, or that it's scary.
Or
People
that
like-
they've done something that other people find to be like disrespectful.
Yeah. We hate those people in society.
People are uncomfortable with like knowing that they've done certain things that people don't approve of, and to be called out for that.
Anal. Is that what you're talking about? I didn't really know.
Nope,
I
but
didn't know.
sure.
It could
be
but
one
it
of
could
those
always.
things.
But let's make everything about anal, because why
Okay, I
not?
thought-
That's the lesson of this podcast.
Yeah, Joe said no more anal, or God said no more anal. Something.
yeah.
It's a SourceFed reference. I wasn't here when that happened.
Yeah, you were, because I was here when
You
that
were here
happened.
when
Yeah.
they said that?
Yeah.
I thought that
I
was
was in that video. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never knew what that was about.
I think
I
I'm
never
the
saw
one
it.
getting the anal in the video.
Oh.
Or giving or get. I think I'm getting it.
Oh,
Hi,
that
Andre.
animated,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to be all for this episode of the SourceFed podcast. Thank you all for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, if you're watching it on YouTube, maybe give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're on iTunes, maybe give it a rating and review. It really helps us out. It helps us get sponsors to keep this show going. Big thanks to Sam Basher, Bree Essrig, William Haynes, and myself, Matt Lieberman.
Follow us on Twitter and
Yes.
Instagram.
We had a
can-
tangerine this whole time and only gave me one slice.
I did.
Where can the people find you, Sam?
At Twitter, at Sam Basher with an OR.
Yes.
Mine is BREESSRIG.
Mine is bigbootywoman.com.
Not true. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman, or LieberFriends.com. Thank you all so much.
LieberFriends.com?
I didn't even buy it. Someone did. And they
That's
linked it to my
nice.
YouTube channel. So it just makes it easier. LieberFriends.com. See you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.